Hello, I got your energy stories for the fourth week of May 2022. And first, we're going to talk about what happens when you literally create a new liquid market for a commodity. So the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission came out with its summer assessment noting dramatically higher price increases over last year. To pick a few markets, PJM's power market for June through September, forward market prices averaged $130 a megawatt hour. That's up 173% from $47.64 a megawatt hour last year. The averages are also up significantly for California, New England, and Texas markets, as well as other places like New York. Why? We'll look to gas prices. Average May through September gas futures at key price settlement point Henry Hub rocketed up 88% to $7.06 per MMBTU, up from last year's $3.75. Why that price increase? Well, for years, North American gas markets have been landlocked. There was no way to sell into overseas markets where much higher prices prevailed. Then in 2016, all that changed, with the first LNG exports from the U.S. headed to more attractive markets, Asia and Europe. A trickle has become a flood, with summer exports now expected at 11.8 billion cubic feet, up 2.3 billion cubic feet from last summer and representing about 12% of total domestic production. The Russian war doesn't help, with a new source of LNG demand destined for European markets to offset Russian gas. And these new liquid markets set a new marginal price. It's why years ago the domestic chemicals industry lobbied so aggressively against LNG export licenses. The writing was clearly on the wall, as it meant a shift of the entire demand curve to the right, increasing prices. That may get even more pronounced in the future. Of the total of 18 LNG export projects that have sought FERC licenses, to date only 9 have been built, so there may be even more demand pressure in the years to come and a new supply-demand equilibrium that may hang around for a while. All things equal, good news for renewables developers. Higher electricity prices provide more headroom for new investments. Germany, Denmark, the Netherlands, and Belgium just signed a joint declaration to develop a minimum of 65,000 megawatts of offshore wind by 2030 and 150,000 megawatts, 150 gigawatts, by 2050, becoming the, quote, green power plant of Europe. The 4 countries foresee private sector investment of up to $142 billion US. The countries highlighted the need to accelerate permitting and plans to intensify cooperation in the making of green hydrogen, expanding associated regional infrastructure to do so. Shifting to the U.S., Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont signed legislation committing that state to decarbonizing its grid fully by 2040, doing California and Hawaii one better. They have 100% carbon-free by 2045 goals. Aided by the 2,100 megawatt Millstone nuclear plant in Connecticut, which its owner says supplies the state with 47% of its electricity and 90% of its carbon-free juice, the state's currently at 65% carbon-free power. Now let's move to EVs and batteries. EV charging company Electrify America announced it will buy enough solar to offset the electricity delivered by its U.S. charging network. It's signing a 15-year, 75-megawatt virtual power purchase agreement that should deliver about 225,000 megawatt hours annually. Until now, it had been buying generic renewable energy credits associated with renewables, but not any individual projects, where it could point to additionality, the idea that if we do this, we drive new construction on the margin. This new purchase agreement makes that solar project possible. And finally, some interesting news in the battery chemistry and manufacturing space. Battery maker Natron Energy and technology firm Clarios International have created a strategic investment to mass produce sodium-ion batteries in Michigan. They'll upgrade an existing plant that already makes lithium-ion batteries and start producing sodium batteries by 2023. It's UL certified, and today these batteries are used for critical applications like data centers and telecom, but they eventually could find their way into the grid. One key distinguishing factor, lithium-ion batteries include expensive lithium, expensive nickel, often have cobalt in them, and have supply chain limitations. Sodium, it's salt, it's abundant, and batteries should be economical to make. As always, future success will come down to economic performance and costs. Well, thank you for watching this week, and we'll see you again next week.